Everybody, it's Tyler here at 2022 IRI, checking team number 2539, Krypton Cougars. These are world finalists this year. Absolutely phenomenal performance. Not just the championships, their entire season have been looking great. It's a team we've been following for a little while now, so if you haven't seen some of the previous robots, make sure you check it out. But let's talk 2022. Absolutely great robot, great packages we go through. We're going to talk more in depth with this robot, by the way, each part of the features. And to do that, by the way, I have Bree, Vic, and Weaver. And we're going to talk about Swerve drive modules, their ball path all the way through, some machine learning, switching of code, all this and more coming up here on Behind the Bumpers. This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If you want to continue enjoying the excitement of robotics, come check out what's going on at Kettering University, including their Combat BattleBots team and First Center. Turn your robotics experience into a professional career. Be sure to apply to Kettering beginning in August of 2022. Go to kettering.edu/apply to learn more. If you're a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. Bree, let's start out with your drivetrain here. Talk to me about what did you utilize, anything that might be a little bit different from what we've seen from other teams as well, too.
All right, so we have a double Falcon Swerve drive. We have the SDS Mark IVs. And right now, something new this competition is we have a cooling system set in. So when our motors start to get a little toasty, we can hook up to some pressurized air, and we can cool down the motors much quicker than just having a fan sit on them. So that's something that it's new to this competition and is working really well on keeping our motors cool.
How long has your team been doing Swerve for?
This is technically our second year. We did Swerve for 2021, but this is our first year using it in person in competition.
When you're looking at approaching this game and taking the Swerve from 2021 into this year, were there any kind of like great lessons learned you've had like year over year, kind of going into your second year into Swerve?
Well, first of all, 2021, we had a great Swerve. It went together really well on the first, not necessarily the first try, but it was pretty simple to put together, and some things that we're going through, different treads, sizes and types, experimenting with that between the years, and also experimenting with just keeping the gears. They tend to gum up a little bit,
Sure.
Trying to keep them clean.
Yeah. Let's start to follow that ball path through. Vic, you're going to talk about the intake. Love to hear about the choice that you have in regards to the Velcro, Mecanum wheels, compliant wheels. You kind of got a whole buffet of different ways to bring in a cargo piece here.
So at the beginning of build season, we had our intake. We were prototyping it. We had simple plywood pieces, and we were just putting different wheels together. We saw different teams using Mecanum wheels, and we never really had a lot of success with them, but we wanted to try them. So we just threw together a very similar intake, minus the Velcro. I think we had 2 compliant wheels, but then we slowly, as the season progressed, we first found out it worked really well. We ended up changing the motor to get it a bit faster, just really getting the balls to the middle. And then we'd started having an issue where we'd have balls bounce off the bumpers, and we added the Velcro, which actually grabs balls from a bit further out, brings them into the intake and into the robot. And then also the Velcro can help with balls bouncing a little. So we'll put them on the floor and then we can intake them.
So for each one of these, were these all added at the same time, or was it like at one point you had different types of configurations? How did that work?
So it was pretty much originally 4 Mecanums, I believe 2 compliant wheels in the middle, and then it was just 1 compliant wheel, and then we added the Velcro.
I noticed you do have a camera on the front here as well too, so I'd love to hear a little bit how you're utilizing that, anything cool from a programming side that's going into that too.
Yeah, so there's a lot more to see than just this camera. In fact, we're actually running a Raspberry Pi that also has a Google Coral hardware accelerator that is actually right back there in the orange box down there. And what that does is it processes the camera feed, and it actually allows us to see all the balls behind our robot on the
Sure.
field. In addition, we have a button that can automatically pick up any of our team's color balls on the other side of the field, so that we can rapidly pick up balls even when we can't see them on the other side of the field.
That's awesome. And from like a drive team perspective, is that something you see them utilizing like every single match, or finding good value out of that too?
It depends on what we're doing. If we're playing defense, obviously we don't necessarily need to do that.
Yeah.
But when we're on the other side of the field, if we're in a tough spot, we really can't see anything. It's basically the best way of picking up a ball that we found.
Well, thanks for telling us about it. We will hear a little bit more from you a little bit later on some other program aspects. Vic, tell us about as we continue the cargo journey, kind of going up into the ramp and shooter area. What's going into that?
So for our cargo continuing, we have just a poly belt. We bring the ball up. We did have an issue with the balls coming back, and we've added brushes. These brushes have just stopped balls from falling out.
Sure.
And then they get up. We have sensors all over, which Weaver can talk about, just indexing balls. But we usually keep one up here and one down there. We've had a lot of sometimes inconsistencies, and we've just been able to tune this in, add foam behind it, and this helps keep our balls consistent there. And then for the shooter, we have a 2-position shooter, and we use inflatable wheels for one side, and this actually centers the ball in between the wheels, and then we just have rollers on the top.
And these are powered up here too, right? So
yes,
is that impacting like your spin, that sort of thing?
So I'm not entirely sure, but Weaver knows more about that.
So what we have is a dual position shooter. So basically we just have a pneumatic piston there that allows us to change from a close hub shot up into the top. And then every other distance is just this upper position here. And we control the spin and the distance with just the dual RPM control of these two flywheels.
Is there kind of like a sweet spot that you prefer to shoot from, or you kind of doesn't really matter for the most part?
We actually used to have pneumatic wheels up at the top as well. That didn't give us as much range.
Yeah.
But switching to this, we can really shoot from anywhere from up close back to the launch pad, and sometimes even further than that.
Some more demos coming up as well too. Let's head over to Bree, talk about more of your climber. Love to just hear some of the mechanical aspects, your decision making on having these types of hooks, that sort of thing, and then we'll talk about the sequence that went into it as well too.
Sure. So our climber design is very similar. We took a lot of inspiration from our 2021 climber that we used in the off season, which was a single hook driven by a Falcon, and we decided to double it for this specific game and also have the pivot motion. So it would hook onto the bar, it would pull us up, and these would hook on, and these would come up off of the bar. So these would come up off of the bar, and it would be stuck there, and that's when we would pull our climber forward, pivot forward, and go up to the next bar. And after that, bring it back onto the bar, and repeat that step by step until we get to the traversal.
And how long does it take for you to do this whole sequence on the field typically?
We like to do 11 to 12 seconds, but the shortest we've ever done is 7 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah.
Really quick on there, really cool. Yeah, what a great package so far. I'd like to wrap up. So let's talk a little bit of programming on your bot here. So we were talking before we started on here is that after World Championships, you actually switched programming language as well too. So I'd just love to hear your thought process behind it. Like, I mean, you were a world finalist, right? You just going for more or what?
Well, so we came into the season, we had to wait about 2 weeks before we could actually start programming because Python, we have to wait 2 weeks before the libraries come out for support for that. Additionally, we tried to get trajectory following. Everyone was doing it, right? So we tried to get that working. Unfortunately, it wouldn't work. We were struggling to get limelight aiming working. It was all very slow. Even if we could get it working with a lot of tuning, it was still very slow and just not in the place that we wanted it. Even going into Worlds, we had a 5-ball. The 5-ball was all straight lines and turns.
Sure.
We couldn't follow a trajectory at that point. So coming back from Worlds, I basically declared that we're going to try out Java at least. So, which of course is normal for everyone else, but it was something we had to try out. And so I spent about a week making a little prototype version of it, and then we actually tested it out, and amazingly, we saw a lot of improvements. We saw our Swerve drive be a lot more responsive. We saw our shooting improve. We saw our limelight aiming get a lot faster.
Yeah.
We just saw a lot of improvements. It was now possible to actually use third-party libraries to follow trajectories. Like, a lot of options were opened up to us.
So any advice to teams that might be looking and doing the same thing as you, going from Python to Java, or even a different language to Java, that you would probably provide them with some experience on that?
Sure. The best thing I can recommend is don't fully commit to anything until you've actually tried it. So just give it a try if you're looking to switch to something else, and see how well it performs on maybe one subsystem. For example, the Swerve drive. See how well that works. And if it works, maybe try a little bit more. But if it's not looking like it's good, if you have limited time, it might not be worth spending all that time trying to complete a project that you won't be able to succeed in. But still, good luck.
Absolutely. Well, Krypton Cougars, thanks a lot for taking time to tell us about your robot and your team and things that you continually improve on, too. I think it's so important of top-tier teams to always keep improving, and any team that wants to get to that level as well, too. So wish you best of luck, of course, here at IRI, and can't wait to see you in future years as well. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
This video on First Updates Now is made possible by viewers like you and also the following sponsors. If you want to continue enjoying the excitement of robotics, come check out what's going on at Kettering University, including their Combat BattleBots team and First Center. Turn your robotics experience into a professional career. Be sure to apply to Kettering beginning in August of 2022. Go to kettering.edu/apply to learn more. If you are a college student or recent graduate looking for an incredible internship, take a look at Stryker. Stryker provides a housing stipend, great pay, and an opportunity to work with state-of-the-art medical technology equipment. Discover why so many First alumni are coming to Stryker for their internship or career at careers.stryker.com. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell to stay up to date on our new videos. Keep the conversation going and provide your input to our content. Watch our live shows at twitch.tv/firstupdatesnow. Join our Discord at discord.gg/firstupdatesnow, and check out Fun FTC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and First Updates Now on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter.